Hey traders, this is going to be a very impromptu interview here. I think you're going to enjoy it. Our makeup artist didn't quite make it yet, so you have to deal with these ugly faces. Oh well. So Bryant here is one of the newest traders in the room, and actually he lives the closest to me, so we decided to meet at this coffee shop. And we're going to just do a short interview. I'm going to ask him impromptu questions. He don't know what I'm going to ask, and I don't really know what I'm going to say, except for I would think of the questions that I would want to ask when I go to check out a room. And one of the first questions would be that I would ask is the teacher. All right, the teacher, the training, the tools. I want to know this stuff before I go into a room, unless it's just for a short period of time and doesn't cost much. And I can assure you, my room doesn't really cost much for 30 days, and he's been in there about 30 days, or not quite.
Not quite.
At the end of this week, I guess, maybe something like that.
About 3 weeks, really.
Okay. So Brian, I'd have to say on Brian's behalf, he's one of the quicker learners compared to other people that's been in the room before, and they're still there now. So Brian, I want to ask you, before you came to the room, have you been in any other trading rooms?
I had been in another trading room years ago, but I didn't really learn anything.
Okay. All right. And what were you trading? Stocks, commodities, or what?
Penny stocks.
Penny stocks. Okay. All right. That's
Under
something.
$5.
Under $5. Okay. That's something I never did. My whole life's been taken up mostly with commodities, forex, some options, and of course mostly commodities and futures would be the S&P E-mini that we trade. And I know a lot of traders watching this do the NASDAQ.
Yes.
And we could trade the NASDAQ equally, but the reason we trade the ES guys is because of all the tools that I put together over the years that make it much easier. You've got a bigger picture to look at when you get ready to trade, and I think Brian would. So Brian, on your estimation, what would you say about the whole approach and the tools that I use? What would be your input for some trader watching? How would you basically summarize my tools and approach I take to the day?
Okay, quick summary would be that Micah is very detailed and he cares about what he's teaching, and he wants all of his students to be successful because he's got years of knowledge, years of pain, of living through the experiences and learning to simplify his tools through many years and conversations, and I think probably under instruction of different people.
Yes.
Searching. So he kind of, to my understanding, he kind of put it all together, figured out what works best for himself, come up with some of his own things as well, and made it very simplified. And not only are the tools simplified, he's there with us to ask questions, live trading. He'll tell you what area he's looking at, explain why. Sometimes if I'm not seeing exactly what he's seeing, I'll ask. I feel like I can ask the questions at any time, and he will explain the answers to me, and I get more clarity around that, which has been instrumental in learning as fast as I feel like I have learned, because it is clear, the tools are simple and clear to use, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate the fact that he is so approachable and has a teaching spirit. That helps a lot, because it prompts questions, and it allows you to feel like you're being heard and you do matter as a person, and questions are okay, because the teacher himself is not trying to sell you a class or a training, but the teacher itself is trying to teach you how to fish so that you will not be hungry, and you have a new tool in your tool belt to use your entire life.
So I think what's important is the reason I wanted to do this interview with you is because some people, there's a lot of phony guys on the internet who say they can trade or, but you can tell, I can tell right away because I've been trading 30 years when I see their setup and in a YouTube video or whatever other video format they're using. Whether they really do have the experience, and a lot of young guys don't. A lot of amateurs have no clue what they don't know. And so if I was to take you, if you were let's say you're already kind of IQ, you're kind of a IT geeky guy a little bit anyway, so you probably have called on quicker than a lot of other guys. How quick do you think the average guy could come into my room? And I call it a professional room, guys, for a reason. It's a professional room. If you want to be a professional day trader, I can't think of any better place to start than my room because I got the tools and I got the training and the experience. So the average guy, how do you think he would go about, or gal, because we got ladies in there too. What do you think is a time frame that is reasonable? Looking at what I go through every day, the format, guys, we look at the financial format, kind of like the way we look at the weather forecast. We call it the financial forecast for the day, and then we walk people through that as that changes. The average person, what would you say? How long do you think it'd take them to catch on? Because they may say, well, Mike, I believe you. You can trade. You look like you can trade. You prove it in the room every day you can trade. What about a guy that's kind of new, that hasn't traded? I don't think you're totally new, and you also, like I said, you got some IT background. What would you say would be realistic for a guy to stay in the room and learn? I know everybody's different, but what would be your answer if somebody says, hey man, I don't know, Micah, what do you think? You think I can learn to do this too? What would be your response?
Well, I think the tools, as simple as they are, a few days to learn the tools. And then if you're asking questions and putting the time and effort in to learn the tools, a few days. Now, the market, it gives you all kinds of looks. It could be the same look 2 days in a row, and then it could be the third day, it'd be a completely different look. So yes, the tools are still simple to read, but even with great tools, the market still gets to choose its direction and gets to do what it wants to do. But with great tools, it can be more predictable.
Correct. Yeah, I heard one of the guys that traded me. Let me explain something to you guys recently. I listened to an interview, which would probably be one of the more well-known guys on YouTube that does interviews, and he was interviewing a guy from London who had been trading 27 years. And I remember this guy, the interviewer, and I'm not going to mention his name because I can't remember, but his face and channel would be very familiar to most of you guys that trade in the trading space. He asked the guy who had been trading 27 years, he says, is it realistic to make 100% a year on trading? And the guy says, he thought for a minute, he said yes. He said, as a matter of fact, I know a guy who used to work for Citibank, he's an ex-Citi trader, who he makes 300% a year, approximately. You know, it may vary a little bit some years, maybe more. But he says he's a unicorn. And guys, that's the guy that told me. The guy that makes it 300% a year plus is the guy that told me. However, I think if this, my trader friend, mentor, teacher, would come in my room nowadays, he would be quite shocked and amazed at the tools I've developed visually. When I was in his room, he didn't have all the tools that we like, and that's still what made it difficult for people to learn, because he didn't have the tools visually, and there was a lot of subjectivity with the stuff he had on the screen, the visuals. So I tried to make the visuals very easy to interpret, like you said, a few days and you got it.
Yeah.
You got it. It's the different price action every day that's where the time has to come in, right?
Yeah.
You have to put in the time, guys. Those price patterns, they're not the same every day. The dynamics change every day, but my tools, you read them the same all the time. So last week, I think you told me you made around 126 points, right?
Yes.
So I put this on the website. He's a trader that made the top points last week, got the most. And I don't know where some of the others came in at. There was only 2 or 3 of us in there that week, last week. Some of them were missing, but if you think about that, guys, with consistency, I was just telling him the thing about consistency is was what that I forgot to tell the story of the guy that opened my eyes to value, and he was saying if you don't know how to read the market, there's no way you can predict the market. Okay. Now some of you guys are probably sitting there scratching your head, said nobody can predict the market. Tell him how accurate that I am most of the time on laying out the bigger picture.
I'd say he's very accurate. His system that he's got going on, he can tell you the direction, he can tell you the potential target areas, and like even today, I'm like, wow, Micah, you called that area Zach. It's like experience and my tools.
Yeah, it is experience and tools.
And
Exactly.
the tools. Yeah,
exactly.
So that was really cool to see. So not only does he talk a good talk, but he backs it up as well. And he's an encourager and a teacher along with that all day long.
Thank you. Well, guys, if you have any more questions, I do want to say how important the right teacher is and how important the right tools are. There's another lady on YouTube. She has her own channel. I'm not going to name her name, but she's an attractive lady from Canada. And I think she said a few days ago, she put on a video that she has spent $15,000 on prop firms in 3 years, if I understood her correctly. And I think she said she lost $10,000 before that, or during the midst of that. But I'm scratching my head, and I'm thinking, and I have give her an invitation to come into my room, guys, for less than $1,000, much less. I'm just saying, you go 3 months, 4 months, you're still under $1,000, right, to come into my room. You're gonna learn so much that you simply don't know. You don't know, and I didn't know. I struggled for well over 10 years. You know, I was a geek sort of in terms of automation. I created tons of systems, a lot of systems, but you know, when I come right down to it, I asked myself, I said, my lands, you're spending all this time creating systems around price, and you don't even understand the auction process very well. That's what dawned on me. That's what the mentor and teacher taught me. It was like, if you're going to buy something or sell something, you should know where value is in according to that, where price is. Otherwise, how do you know why you should be buying? Why should you be selling? And that's a problem with a lot of you traders watching this video. You're just going to keep stabbing away at it like one lady. And I did give her an invitation to come to my room. You could come just 30 days. You've only been in there about 30 days,
Yeah.
And your eyes have been open big time, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely.
So
I know what I'm looking for sure.
Exactly. So once you even put 30 days in, what was it that cost? 119?
Yes.
119, guys, for 30 days in the manual. He signed up for 90 days right from the start. So I'm giving you an opportunity to come into the room cheap for 30 days, and this is what he's learned, and he's already, I would say he's profitable.
Yes.
Yeah, this first couple of days this week's been kind of stagnant because I think tomorrow when the news comes out, it's going to get excited. But tools, guys, and training. You got to have the right tools. You got to have the right training. So you don't have to spend thousands of dollars and years trying to learn something that I guarantee you most of you will never conquer with consistency until your eyes are open. It's not that hard. It's not complicated. But so I welcome you. Thank you, Brian, for coming.
Thank you, Mike. I
I'm glad we
appreciate
can meet here, and hopefully some more traders will see this, and hopefully our voice is loud enough. Probably should have checked that.